Edo North Senator Adams Oshiomhole has declared that the People's Democratic Party, PDP, governorship candidate in the forthcoming election in Edo State, Asue Ighadalo, is not electable. Oshiomhole stated that Ighadalo lacks the necessary qualities for the Edo people to elect him as governor. Appearing on the morning show, Oshiomhole said, and I quote, Asue Ighadalo is not electable. He can't speak his own language. He went to his village but couldn't sleep there because of witches and wizards. Edo people are wiser now.
I don't want. So that's it. Now, Edo politics. Asue Ighadalo is not electable. Right now, he fraudulently, according to the Federal High Court, manipulated and disobeyed the constitution of the PDP. He violated the electoral law and the electoral act, and that the primary that produced him was done in clear breach of the law and constitution. So as we speak, he's not a candidate. Number two, Asue Ighadalo cannot even speak the language of people of Ewohimi, where my late wife come from. Asue Ighadalo is not electable. Nigeria don't want double-breasted consultant transaction expert with one hand in the pocket. They have never been identified. He said he was chairman of Alagodaro. What was the achievement of Alagodaro? Other than spending billions of naira in consultancy, he is not electable. He does not understand the people. He doesn't know Edo State. He can't speak the language of his own village. Even the day he went to announce himself, he carried an interpreter to speak to his own villagers. When he finished, he went to Benin. He didn't sleep in his village because local people, in his view, are all witches and wizards, typical of some segment of the elite. A man like that can't govern. How can my dear friend Ruben, you know I can never sit on the fence. Asue is not electable. I cannot support him to do what? Asue is a worse version. All the people say they are technocrat. Let them remain in consultancy and do some transaction, whether they are lawful or unlawful. He managed a bank that is in business with Edo State. We have to investigate how much he has made it in consultancy between Edo State government and his own private company.
Joining us now on this show for a right of reply is Oshiomhole Anenih, Director of Strategy, Asue Ighadalo Campaign Organization. Oshiomhole, good morning. Good to see you again.
Good morning, Dr. Abati. Good morning, Ayo. Good morning, Fai.
Morning, Oshiomhole.
Well, Oshiomhole, okay, quickly. We had Comrade Senator Oshiomhole on this program yesterday. He said, one, that Asue Ighadalo is not electable. You just listen to him. We all did. Two, he said that there is a court judgment, and there's indeed a certain court judgment by Justice Patricia Mahmood and two other lordships who overturned the attempt to appeal the ruling of Justice Omotosho's court. And on the basis of that, Oshiomhole also says Asue Ighadalo is not electable. Now, what's your response, since this is a right of reply interview?
Thank you, Dr. Abati. I watched yesterday's interview with a mixture of disappointment and shock. I know our governor, he's supposed to be an elder statesman. He's supposed to play his politics at the level where you have the Obasanjos and even the John Oyeguns from Edo State. And I was really disappointed to see him descend into the arena, so to speak. But that's his right, and that wouldn't be a problem if he decided to discard the garb of statesmanship. And he wants to become a political pugilist. He's entitled to do that. I think what shocked me was, and I want to choose my language, carefully, because I hold the governor in the highest of regards. I was shocked to see him come on air on national television to push lies and propaganda. And why that is important is, the new Electoral Act, I think it's section 123B and C, says if you come out and you publish or push false information or reckless information that seeks to disparage or discredit a candidate, you've committed an offense, and you are liable to 6 months in jail or I think 100,000 naira fine. And it's something that we have filed. You know, I don't want people to think they can come on air and speak recklessly and break the law and think that there will be no consequences. We want to test whether Oshiomhole is truly above the law. You know, you showed a clip. You showed a clip of some of the things he said. He said a lot more. He said INEC brought a witness who stated the card was forged. He said the judge ruled against Asue Ighadalo, that's Justice Omotosho, ruled against Asue Ighadalo in the Federal High Court. And then Asue went on appeal, and upon appeal, it was also dismissed, and that the PDP have now approached the Supreme Court. You know, it was a litany of lies that truly, truly shocked me. If propaganda was in the Olympics, I think Oshiomhole would have won the gold medal yesterday with his performance. You know, and Ayo, I want to thank you, Rufai, as well. You know, when he started lying, you asked him, look, do you have the court judgments? What court judgments are you referring to? And I think to the media, when people come on air to speak about court judgments, just ask them a simple question. Where is the CTC? To which point are you speaking? So, for instance, I can come on air and say that Oshiomhole lied on national television yesterday when he said INEC said the card was forged, because I have in front of me Justice Omotosho's judgment. It's right here. This is the CTC. And I can read from it where the INEC witness, Kingsley Magbun, is the principal legal officer at INEC, says on page 19 that he was a member of the committee that verified the third defendant, that's Asue Ighadalo's documents. And he verified the authenticity. This is it in black and white. And so why would Adams Oshiomhole come on air to say that INEC said the card was forged and go further to state that Omotosho ruled that the card was forged? Because again, in the judgment, and for the viewers, I don't know if you have the document and you can show it. For the viewers, I circled it again. The suit was dismissed. The suit was dismissed by Omotosho. He said in the final analysis, the suit of the plaintiffs, that's Philip Schreibu, Esene, Anselmo Jesua, and Haja. In final analysis, the suit of the plaintiffs as it stands is statute barred and thus is hereby dismissed. Again, it's in black and white. So why would anyone come on air and lie to the Nigerian people? You know, in Edo State, we have been, you know, when we emerged as the candidate in
just stop
February.
there. Stop there. Look, this is a serious program. There was an August 8th ruling, and I quoted it by Justice Patricia Ajuma and 2 other lordships, which overturned the ruling by Justice Omotosho. If you are not aware of that, just say so. And that was what Oshiomhole was quoting yesterday. And, you know, that's what you should respond to.
Please.
In law, the latest in the delivery is the one that takes... No, there has been a court of appeal judgment.
Dr. Ruben,
yeah.
Dr. Ruben, with all due respect, again, and I think what Oshiomhole showed was clear ignorance of the proceedings of the case. And I'm not surprised because he's not a member of the PDP. These matters are matters between PDP members until recently, the recent defection of Philip Schreibu. And I'm thank you for bringing that part. I want to make very clear, I want to state what we appealed. During Omotosho's judgment, the plaintiffs had approached the court with originating summons, and then they alleged forgery. And one of our preliminary objections was that you cannot allege forgery since it's a criminal offense with preliminary objections. And what this guy tried to do immediately was to convert their originating summons to a writ of summons. And we appealed that. That was what we appealed. Dr. Ruben, I'm sure you know what an interlocutory appeal is. So we appealed that specific judgment, that specific ruling. And that is what was determined, that the judge has the discretion to allow the plaintiffs convert an originating summons to a writ of summons. Again, that is what I have in front of me. I'm not speaking my opinion. I'm speaking from a certified true copy. That is the appeal. The only other appeal that has been lodged was when Justice Omotosho decided that Philip Schreibu had no locus because he did not take part in our primaries, Philip appealed that judgment. And it was determined that not only did the appeal court reaffirm Asue's candidacy, they fined Philip Shaibu 1 million naira. So I speak with all sense of responsibility. I speak with the facts in front of me. And again, I ask you, if anybody comes to speak about the law in front of you, about Nigerian judgment, just ask them to quote where they are reading from in the certified true copy.
All right. Okay, there are other allegations. Thanks for clarifying that. There are also other allegations or things that he said, which I'd like you to respond to. In summary, it's that your candidate, Mr. Asue Ighadalo, is not in touch with the people. He doesn't have any connection with the people that he seeks to serve. First of all, he says he doesn't speak their language, so he cannot communicate properly with the people. And then also that he's hardly a homeboy. He just comes in, goes out. In fact, I think he called him a white collar suit? I can't remember the name, or blue collar, one of the names. But he said that he was double-breasted consultant, double-breasted consultant. So that he had no place in Edo State as governor. What would be your response to that? Especially just to that thing around connection with the people. Because, of course, if you're going to lead the people, you should be able to understand, interact with the people. I would assume that that's what the Edo people would want.
I laughed when I heard Comrade Oshiomhole talking about a double-breasted businessman when he was wearing a double-breasted khaki. I think Comrade has transitioned from a comrade to a champagne socialist. And has lost touch with the Nigerian people. It's why, for instance, when he was talking about the protest, he would say he doesn't know Deji Adeyanju and he doesn't know EIE. So I don't think really he's speaking the truth. I said he came to push lies and propaganda, with all due respect. I think he did even worse yesterday. He came pushing an ethnic agenda. We can see what's happening in Lagos. We can see what's happening around the country. And again, I was truly disappointed when he came, and instead of speaking to the issues that affect the Edo people, their insecurity, their hunger, all caused by policies being pushed by the government he represents, he came talking about Asue is a stranger and doesn't speak the language. I don't speak my language. I'm an Edo man. My mother is Igbo. Does that make me any less qualified to run for office in Edo State? And the irony of it is that Oshiomhole grew up in Kaduna. His first job was in Araba Textiles in 1974 or 1975. Monday Okpebolo grew up in Jos. He set up his company, Interweb, in Jos. He's registered in Jos. When he expanded his business, he came to Abuja. I know him because he's a family friend. Akpata practices his business in Lagos. Why do we want to, it's a distraction, I think, that they push when they don't have anything to sell. They don't have a candidate who can come on air and speak to you. The refrain in Edo State now is, where is Monday? Because not only is he hiding from the media, he's also hiding from the Edo citizenry. And, I really wish when he started speaking about this, when he started going into this ethnic dog whistling, I really wished that we had pushed back at him. I really wish you had asked him whether Professor Ambrose Folashoro Ali could speak the language. I really wish you had asked him whether Professor Osumbo was a lecturer in Lagos State. Because these people that come on air to seek to divide, instead of using our diversity to unite and strengthen us, do not mean well for us. And I think Comrade has to take a good look at himself in the mirror in his double-breasted khaki suit and ask himself whose interests he truly seeks to represent. Is he seeking to better the lives of the Edo people, or is he pushing parochial, partisan, antediluvian interests?
Okay. So you've talked about many things. You see, all the things Mr. Oshiomhole came to say yesterday can also be said for people too that come to support you and your candidature. I mean, your principal's candidature. There's a constant recurrent decimal of some sort that comes on a rise, Prince Odigie, that says all sorts of things against Monday Okpebolo. So I'm also excited that you have come here to say Monday Okpebolo has a tech company, if my memory serves right, you said InfoWeb, and the company is it InfoWeb? What's the name of the company
Interweb.
again? Interweb. And it's a thriving, successful company.
Interweb. Yeah.
Interweb. And it's a thriving, successful company, and it's a CEO of some sort, and he's not a plumber like somebody that comes to speak for your campaign says. So the question is, how is your campaign also limiting all sorts of recurring decimals that come to speak in very terrible ways about other candidates? Because what you are saying against Oshiomhole today, they are surrogates of your campaign that are also as guilty and are also going to blow that ethnic dog whistle. So, hey bro, you're not a saint on this.
So a couple of things. First of all, I said Monday registered his company in Jos. I never said it was thriving.
No, so
it's not a thriving tech company.
So it's not a thriving tech company. Do you have any information you want to share about this company? Second of all, I think what I've tried to do today is separate the noise from the substance. I haven't said anything I cannot defend or substantiate. And I really wish we would stay away from these distractions, because they are distractions. The one thing I can say that my candidate or people that represent Asue Ighadalo can do is come to TV stations and hold up a document like this. So we are the only ones that can come hang on
and
a
hold
minute.
up a manifesto and speak to the issues, Rufai. And I would love, I don't know how much longer we have, Rufai.
No, just a minute. I want to ask something quickly.
To take questions. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
So do you guys dissociate your campaign? Does it dissociate yourself? Does the campaign dissociate itself from people like Prince Odigye, that comes to do this ethnic dog whistle, this baiting, this attack dog job for it? Is that what you're saying? So that we know clearly now, so that when they come again, we know they're not speaking
thank you. I watched the interview you had with that APC chieftain.
Yes.
And it was hilarious. It was one of the best interviews I've seen on your channel. And I think what made it so refreshing was that even though, he was jocular and humorous, he was speaking to facts. I think as a nation, we have gotten to the point where we are at the precipice, and we truly must demand that only the best lead us. And we must insist that the people who seek to lead us must come out and tell us in their own voice, not through surrogates, not through people like me or even Prince Odigye, what they want to do. I think it's really, really important. Again, I speak to what my candidate has done or wants to do. We have toured 192 wards. Again, I repeat, I have visited 192 wards with my candidate. And when I hold up our manifesto, we have a brilliant page that has 24 constituencies.
Also, with due respect.
And every single constituency has been met by my candidate.
Also, with due respect,
go ahead, Rufai.
You have not answered the question. Now you are saying Odigye spoke to facts.
No, you asked very specifically about Odigye.
Yeah, so I specifically asked that do you guys dissociate yourself from that campaign? Because you've also shot yourself in the foot by saying Odigye spoke to fact. So all the ethnic dog whistling and calling Monday Okpobolo a plumber and all sorts of names is the facts that your campaign represents about Monday Okpobolo, right? Because you said Odigye spoke to facts. So those are the facts of the things he says. And you also praise the interview for being very good. So is that the facts you represent or you dissociate yourself from it? Let's just clarify.
Rufai, you introduced me as the director of strategy for the Asue Ighadalo campaign. I'm a PDP chieftain. The person who came on, Odigye, is an APC chieftain. So I think it's the APC that you should be asking that question. Every single person that has come to speak for Asue has spoken to facts and has spoken to issues. Okay. And I would love that we do that. Okay. You seem to be taking me into salacious territory, and I would really wish we just stick to issues.
Okay, Osa, very good. Glad to see you. And I'm glad that you are director of strategy. You are following in our father's footsteps. So you help Asue Ighadalo to fix it. Let me ask you. Yesterday, Comrade Senator Oshiomhole was demarketing Asue Ighadalo. Can you say your candidate to us? Because that's the flip side of the story. What recommends him? What is the special thing about him? Tell us.
Thank you very much, Abati. I could speak to the fact that he is a captain of industry. He has chaired organizations with bigger budgets than even Edo State. I could speak to the work he has done, in the private sector and even in the public sector. Most people won't know that he was on the board of the NSIA that finally completed the second Niger bridge. But I think, what connects me most with him, and I think what has endeared him to the people in Edo State, is his empathy. Is the fact that he goes into markets and he goes into shops and stores and schools and embraces people and sits down and listens to them and develops plans. He speaks to their issues. And I think he sells, I don't want to say hope because some people have hijacked the word hope, but he truly has returned hope to people. So when he comes out and he says that I want to move Edo State from the third world to the first world, people truly believe him. Our manifesto is called the Pathway to Prosperity. Not because Edo State is poor. The Governor Obaseki, has raised our GDP and IGR. So from where we were, I think he has almost doubled it. But he's saying he wants to bring prosperity to every single segment of the Edo society. And people truly believe him. And, he talks about focusing on security because without security, we cannot build any sort of prosperity, as you can see taking place across the nation. Edo State has 5 entry points, and so he's going to secure that. And it's after securing the state, he then plans to roll out his plans for well-being that talks to education and healthcare, the economic growth, that he wants to put out 3 economic development agencies across our 3 senatorial regions, so no region is left behind and every region pulls up every part of the state. I think we need to understand that Abuja is not going to rescue Nigeria. It has to be functioning states that pull up the states around them that collectively deliver a prosperous Nigeria. He's the person pushing that vision, and I truly, truly wish Edo State gives him the opportunity to implement the vision he has for the state.
Oh, interesting. When you were talking about him going to the market women and interacting, I wanted to ask if he did that in his double-breasted suit, since you didn't deny the fact that he wore double-breasted suit, but that's besides the point. Let me ask you, some of the things that came up yesterday as well, and I believe has come up in previous interviews, especially with maybe people from members or representing other parties, is his track record. In fact, Senator Adams Oshiomhole had said that he should go back to the boardroom. He should go back and let's even probe those companies and see where Edo State comes in. And I want you to speak to that. Because I recall, I can't remember now the person, one of our guests had spoken about, the companies he had led, where are they today? Almost as if he hasn't quite been successful in the boardroom. And I'd like you to speak to that this morning and give us his track record. Why should Edo people believe in his ability to govern and lead based on his track record?
I think the APC in Edo State particularly is a party of liars and propagandists. Asue set up Banwo and Ighadalo in 1991, I think it was. And today, Banwo and Ighadalo is arguably the largest and most successful law firm in Nigeria. I think they have more than 115 lawyers and maybe 15 partners. And so for anybody to look at Asue Ighadalo and say that he hasn't excelled in the private sector is, the person must be smoking something. But beyond that, it was his private sector track record that led multinational corporations to ask him to come and serve on their boards as chairman. So I truly don't understand how anybody can say that. How can someone who was the chairman of Sterling Bank be less qualified to lead Edo State? How can someone who was the chairman of Dangote Flour be less than qualified to lead Edo State? He has proven over a career of 40 or 30 odd years that he has been able to build wealth and develop people. And that's what he wants to come and do in Edo State. I throw the challenge back to them. Can they show me the track record of their candidates? Can they show me any candidate who has the profile, pedigree of Asue Ighadalo? And if they do, Asue says it, if you can find any candidate that is better than me, I will step down and support that candidate. So it's not about where you are from. We hear this cry about fairness, equity, and justice that Edo South has held power for maybe 16 years. I don't know where Oshiomhole is from, has held it for 8 years, and Edo Central hasn't. But that's not what it's about. At the end of the day is who is the person most qualified to lead Edo State from the third world to the first. And I say it with my hand on my chest. That person is Dr. Asue Ighadalo.
So now you're saying that it's not about where Asue is from. But it also plays a role in this campaign. Because the problem I have with you politicians is when it favors you, you say it one way. When it doesn't favor you, say the other way. Just like how you're now saying that, don't ask me about what an APC chieftain said, but you admit that everything is the truth, even where he spilled some things that might not be true. I say, no, he's not speaking for our campaign, he's an APC, I'm a PDP, don't drag me into salacious territory. But you came here and started, in your right of reply, all the salacious territory talk here. So are you saying that Asue being from the central does not play a role in all of this because the advocacy have been made for fairness, if other parts have gotten it? Then secondly, most importantly, I want to talk to you about policies, roadworks. There are many roads that are left undone. Warri-Sapele Road, other conjoining roads in Edo State. Where are you guys going to raise this money to be able to do this work as regards the infrastructural deficit in the states?
An interesting question and a brilliant question. The first one was interesting. The first question you asked about equity, fairness, and justice. I think I sort of agree with you that because we are a diverse nation, and even in Edo State, we're a diverse state, there is an argument to be made that, every part of the state should feel that they can aspire to lead. It sort of, I think, binds society together when no part of the state or country feels excluded. So there is that argument. But I'm saying that is not a superior argument. It's not what you put on the table. So for instance, Monday Okpegbolo is from Edo Central. Will I say that he's, just because he's from Edo Central, is qualified to lead Edo State? I would beg to differ very, very strongly on that point. And then the brilliant question...
Why is he not qualified, if I may ask?
I think the Warri-Sapele Road is a...
Why is he not qualified, if I may
Sorry?
ask? Why is Monday Okpegbolo not qualified, if I may ask, to lead Edo State?
He is qualified. The Constitution says, as long as you have a heartbeat, you can aspire. So he's an Edo citizen, he can aspire. But I'm saying that he is not as qualified as Asue Ighadalo is to solve the problems facing Edo State. And it goes to the next question. So you talked about, our infrastructural deficit. The major ones are federal government roads, like that Benin Auchi Road. And there are also some state roads that need to be done. Mm-hmm. In our manifesto, Asue plans to build up to 2,000 kilometers of road. Where is the money going to come from? Mm. We are speaking to a man who has, all through his career, as a transaction lawyer, as Oshiomhole called him, raised financing for multinationals, has handled and deployed multi-billion naira projects. And so I have again, it speaks to his track record. He has done it before and he wants to come and do it for Edo State. And we're not talking about infinitesimal amounts of money. The Benin Auchi Road is 160 kilometers. 1 kilometer of road conservatively is 1 billion naira. So just for the Benin Auchi Road, we're talking about 160 billion naira to get that road functional to the standard that we want. What is Edo State's IGR? Governor Obaseki has raised it to 15 billion. By the time you take out pensions and salaries, you have barely 6 billion left. So you can only tar 6 billion kilometers of roads if the only thing you wanted to do is that Benin Auchi Road.
Okay.
So we must find financing. And Dr. Asue has the pedigree and international trust to attract financing to Edo State. Simply by being governor, people will open their pockets.
Okay, also quickly, just before we go, less than 1 second, if possible. A part of Rufai's question that you have not answered. Do you know Prince Emmanuel Odigye, who is an APC refugee, who says he's supporting the PDP candidate? Is it known to you, and are you people working together?
That's just it.
Simple question.
Simple.
You're laughing.
Unfortunately, I'm not really into anti-party activities. I want to encourage Prince Emmanuel to join the PDP. We are the party of light and progress, and he seems to be cut from the same cloth that I am. So I want to issue a public invitation to Prince Odigye come to the PDP and let's move Edo State forward.
Okay, but you know him. He's working with you guys. You are in charge of strategy. You should know the people working with you.
Not to my knowledge.
Okay,
my knowledge.
you disown him.
But I would love, no, not to my knowledge. He seemed to be a brilliant individual, and I would love to have him in our camp.
Do you disown him?
You disown him?
All the things he's saying is not representative of your campaign. That's what we're asking.
Okay.
Do you disown him?
You're trying to put words in my mouth.
Okay, don't worry yourself. No problem. He's an APC refugee in PDP. When you grant him asylum, he will be a proper member. We'll take a short break now.
There is space under there's space under the umbrella for Prince Emmanuel.
Okay.